well-meaning people giving bad advice.
How we react to fear or how we experience fear, it's a choice on what we do next with our actions, behaviors.
There's a lot of fears usually you're going to have to confront. There's things you're going to have to overcome. You're going to die. There's yellow fever.
People have different definitions of what success looks like for them, right? So their dream may be to have, a $25 million mansion on Miami Beach.
If you're passionate or have the dream, of moving down to Ecuador, you're going to have to get through what I'll just call the haters. It bothers people in some kind of subconscious way when they see somebody else living their dreams. So that's part of it, right? Of what this place offers and what it is, right? So it's the cultural history.
There's a deeper calling for many of those people, especially the healers in the community and the health practitioners and the folks that are here, with a purpose.
It's like the light in people's eyes, who both live here or are discovering this place. Mm-hmm. It's so freaking cool to watch. There's options that maybe speak to my soul, my spirit, my health, my mental state, whatever.
Yeah.
Better. And watching what it does for them in their lives. Right. People have to decide for themselves who they listen to, right, what they believe,
right,
what they're all about,
yeah,
what their values are, what aligns, what doesn't.
A spark lands, 25 feet up into the bark of the palm tree, and it starts smoking, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Hello and welcome back to the Ecuador Insider Podcast. Jesse, Brandon, welcome back to the show. We put a lot of, I said I wasn't going to do this, I'm doing it. We put a lot of effort in to bringing you high quality. You and I think it's high quality, they may not.
Right,
but
right.
But we think it's high quality content weekly, almost daily sometimes. We're pumping it out. And we appreciate you guys watching. Show your appreciation by hitting like on the video.
Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Yeah.
If
you're not
the bell.
Subscribed. Yeah.
I don't think I can say that. At least I can't say the bell part. I think it's just like. Subscribe.
Yeah. Do you hit the bell? I don't even hit the bell on anything I watch on YouTube.
No, I don't either.
So I don't know. It's a weird one.
YouTube's algorithm, I've noticed, is pretty good. In terms of they give me what I want.
Totally.
Full on.
Same.
Yeah.
And I've never hit the bell a single time.
No, I used to.
Oh,
there was a time when I did, but not in a long time.
I've never hit the bell, ever. In 20 years of YouTube. I don't know how long has it been around. Has it even been around that long? 10 years? 15 years? I've never hit the bell, so whatever. Subscribe. That helps. That helps. Comment.
The subscribe is fun for us.
Yeah.
You get to it's basically comparing packages.
Yeah, totally.
I've got more subscribers than you.
right. And
the
comments.
If you want to feed our ego, subscribe to the channel.
And comment, guys. If you have stuff you want us to talk about, you have questions, we're happy to answer any questions you have that we have answers to. And if we don't have a good answer, we'll make one up.
I haven't seen you do that yet in the comments.
Yeah. No, I answer when people have serious questions.
You give great answers.
I give them the real deal as we see it. So,
the real deal. I feel like that should be one of your slogans on your wrestling shirts.
It probably is.
Probably was.
Speaking of the wrestling shirts,
gifts, bro.
We didn't bring them. Darn it. Next pod,
Brandon.
We'll bring them. But I think it's Saucer Tennis is his YouTube handle. Bruce, I think his name. He didn't leave his contact info in the office, but he brought us some gifts. He brought us some saucers and a net to play some saucer tennis, which I've never played.
So by saucer, it's a frisbee.
It's a frisbee.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know what. I've never heard of saucer tennis.
I actually don't know how to play. So Bruce, I think it's Bruce. I hope it's Bruce. If it's not, if it's saucer tennis, when you see this, send us a note or stop by the office again while you're here and let us know how to play saucer tennis. Or if you'd like to play together, we'd love to get together, and thank you for the gifts, because not only do we get the saucers in the net, but is this why you brought it up? Did you just reminded you this shirt? Yeah. So I got my old WWF wrestling shirt on, and I occasionally wear. I might be a 45-year-old man with 7 or 8 wrestling T-shirts.
I think let's see. Is this the only one I've seen? Do you wear the other one?
No, you've seen this one.
What
you've
are
seen
the other ones?
Yeah. So this is the Ultimate Warrior, right? Mm-hmm. Rest in peace. Ultimate Warrior, Hall of Famer, baby, wrestling Hall of Famer. You've seen.
Who was Roddy Piper a wrestler?
Yeah. I've got a Roddy, but it's the Hot Rod shirt. I don't wear that one often.
I mean, I only know him really because of the movie They Live.
Right, which is great.
Freaking
Phenomenal.
fantastic.
Phenomenal.
It was like one of the first like moments for me.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen They Live, check it out. It's
actually,
is it late 80s, early 90s?
I want to say it's 88, and the only reason I know that is because it's free on YouTube.
No.
And I think it says in the title, like, They Live, parentheses, 1998 or something.
Okay.
So I think it's 1998.
Yeah, check that movie out, guys, if you're interested in conspiratorial.
Although, man, based on his hairstyle in that movie, could that have been that late? That seemed like more like 88.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 88. Sorry, 88.
Yeah,
Did I say 90?
Yeah,
Okay.
you said 88. Yeah, no, it had to have been late 80s or very early 90s at the latest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got the Hot Rod. He was a wrestler that, he wore the same shirt. It was a white shirt with a red cuff, and it said Hot Rod in like flaming letters, and he wore a kilt, and he was a Scottish. Came out to bagpipes and
this is Roddy Piper?
Hot Rod Roddy Piper.
That's why he was Piper,
Yeah, so then so I've got a Roddy Piper shirt. I've got the fluorescent yellow one with that's the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember those commercials.
Yeah, rest in peace, Randy Poffo. Let's see what else we have. We've got the D-Generation X.
That was later, right?
That was much
like
later.
when I was in high school.
Yeah, I was in college. Yeah. Whoosh. We used to. So that was.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah, that was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, and Heartbreak Kid.
I don't know
Michaels.
how you I'm so anti wrestling. It's like the thing. I'm probably more anti-wrestling than just about anything else.
I'm going to keep talking about it a little bit longer as I know how much, because there's more shirts. What else do I have?
What else? Let's get into it.
Who am I? I can't think of the rest, but there's a handful of more.
Yeah.
But part of the reason I'm into wrestling is, number one, my dad was 6'6", 300 pounds.
He still is, bro.
Man, he's not any longer.
6'5" now.
He's shrunk. Gravity, if that exists, is work. Something's shrinking him slightly, but he was Pete Colt, so he was a heel. His partner was Pete Colt. He was Johnny Stallion. My dad's name's John. I should know. So he was he was a wrestler back in the day for a while. So it was fun.
He's got that great Chicago accent, as do you, but his is more. Oh, for sure, but his is more.
I have a Chicago accent.
Yeah, but his is more pronounced by quite a bit. Yeah, you have a softer one for sure.
Oh,
I mean, Tiff also. It's like I just associate. I don't know. It's just Midwest, but like Tiff also has the pronunciation is not Northeast. Like it's not what I'm. Definitely not what I'm.
Do I have an accent or does he have an accent?
Well, I mean,
do we both have accents?
It's eye of the beholder, man.
Yeah.
I think everyone has an accent to everyone else who isn't from there.
Perhaps. I don't notice your accent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm a hodgepodge, so that's probably why. Like, I don't have a distinct accent because I grew up in Vermont with parents from New York, and then lived in New York a long time. But like Vermont is. The way they talk, like the old-time Vermonters, which I didn't pick up ever because I wasn't around that really, but like the old-time Vermonters, the way they talk is hilarious. Like it's like, So like they'll say, like in, like Massachusetts, it's like pak the ka.
Yeah.
For them, it's like perk the cur. Perk the cur. They're like, everything, And I literally have a friend, Nate, shout out to Nate, definitely not watching this, out in Ohio these days, but like he talks like that because his parents, like he's like third or fourth or fifth generation or something. My buddy Chris Cassidy, his dad, who's like comes from a farming family.
It's an
yep.
Huh.
But but my parents, my mom's coffee,
New York.
So and my dad though, it's interesting. He grew up on Long Island. He doesn't have a thick.
He doesn't.
No,
not at all.
Yeah,
I would never guess he's from New York.
Right.
I'd never guess he spent a long period of time.
Yeah, he really doesn't have a New York accent. It's weird. I mean, he's born and raised like.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
weird.
Anyhow.
All right.
So, you know what I want to talk about? And I don't know. I have in parentheses a name here that I don't know what it refers to, but what I want to talk about is people, well-meaning people, giving bad advice. And I know that this is near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
This topic is something that you appreciate, but let me set it up this way. So, you know, in any aspect of life, in anything you're trying to do in your life, right? You have a mission, you have a goal, you have something that's inspiring to you, a dream, you know, something you want to accomplish, do, etc. And you start to set out, you know, you aim the ship in that direction, right? To do that, there's like a lot of sort of breaking out of the matrix you have to do. Like you kind of have to, there's a lot of fears usually you're going to have to confront. There's things you're going to have to overcome. There's doubts that you're going to have to overcome. There's lessons you're going to learn along the way, right? All this kind of stuff. And partly, you know, I think we've all experienced, and I think probably all our listeners maybe have experienced as well, but certainly would if they moved here. Somewhere along the way, the fears or the doubts or the sort of, or the matrix, you could even call it, or, you know, or society or the norms or the social
Probably
standard or all of the above, exactly. Yeah. Sort of like, it's almost like an alarm goes off subconsciously for people, and they're like, it's almost like they live, actually.
Yeah,
it's very similar to they live. And they're like, someone's breaking out, stop them.
Right.
And you start to get the well-meaning, and I think in general, it's true. Like,
right.
Well-meaning friends, family members, you know, whoever, people who's basically are just trying to crush your dreams.
Right.
Like, basically.
But they're not trying to.
No, they're not trying to.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're like reflecting, they're externalizing their own fears, you know, to you.
Right, exactly.
Right, onto you, right? And it's, yeah, that's something. That's hard enough to not do to yourself.
Right.
You know, but then to have people you love and care about the most, you know, knowing they care and love you, care about you and love you, and then for them to, you know, smother you in their fears,
right.
You know, oof.
Right. Which is like, you know, I don't know that anyone's moved to Ecuador and not gotten a lot of friends and family members that are like, are you nuts?
Right.
You're going to die. There's yellow fever, which there isn't, by the way. But I'm just, you know, there's yellow fever. They just killed the you know, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But, like, yeah.
Yeah, there's the fear piece with, you know, I think we talked about this on a previous pod, perhaps, but, you know, the acronym for fear that I like the best is from a band I saw in college. Papa Roach, baby. Shout out to Papa Roach if you're watching the pod. But they have a song called Fear, Face Everything and Rise.
That's awesome.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's an awesome message. It's a great way to characterize fear, to spin that, because at the end of the day, it's kind of a choice on whether how we react to fear or how we experience fear. It's a choice on what we do next with our actions, behaviors, when, you know, something scares us. Because you can be startled.
Yeah. And
then, you know, but fear itself, how you make decisions in the face of it, I don't know. I like Face Everything and Rise, man. And,
no, it's great.
Yeah, it's a good one. But it can cripple a lot of people, man. It can cripple. It's hard to break through because you said it, like the people that are, they're well-intentioned, right? They're well-intentioned in that they think they're looking out for you. They think they think they're have your best interests at heart.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's a difference between like a positive level of concern and thoughtfulness and an overbearing one that's detrimental. And that's the difference between the two in my mind are folks that are a little scared because they're scared to lose you, leaving,
right,
and what might happen, and they're scared for that authentically for themselves because they're scared to lose you. And then the other people that are scared, they have their own fears about they wouldn't ever do that. So like they know what's best for them, which great, that might be best for them. But then they're just sharing that as authentic perspective to you. And that's the one where, for me, those are the folks that are still really much closer to deep into the matrix versus on that spectrum further out of the matrix.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a piece too where it's like a little bit of the crabs in the bucket thing as well, where like people, it bothers people in some kind of subconscious way when they see somebody else living their dreams. There's like that little sort of like, well, wait a minute, I didn't get to live my dreams. Right. Why should you?
Or it's a different dream. It's even a different dream that challenges, because...
Right. It makes people have to think and have to sort of confront. Right. Exactly.
Right. Because people have, just like success, people have different definitions of what success looks like for them. Right. So their dream may be to have, a $25 million mansion on Miami Beach and, the McLarens and, and the Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Maybe that's somebody's, vision of success. Go for it, man. That, like that's not everybody's vision of success. So when you define your own success and your own dream and it's different than someone else's, like that, or, they don't like that. That's not, it's almost like attack mode. And then the other one is when it challenges people's own paradigm, like their own worldview.
Right. Exactly.
When someone else's worldview gets challenged, then, for them to even accept it without defensiveness, they have to have some sort of ego death in a way. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, their worldview fractures. So that's when the cognitive dissonance sets in. Mm-hmm. and folks, resort back to, the attack and the meaningful, the meaning well criticism of your dream.
Yeah. It's a great litmus test, I think, so it's if you're passionate or have the dream, of moving down to Ecuador, you're going to have to get through what I'll just call the haters who try to stop you basically. Right. And, it means that there's a sort of a test. You got to have some fortitude.
Right.
And that's good. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to need that here too, mm-hmm. Probably in some way. I mean, just in life in general.
I was going to say, that's anywhere, anything like that.
Right. It's actually not unique here that way at all. But it is different. Anyway, so, your lovely wife, Tiff was telling, was sharing the other day, we were talking about, life paths and God sort of laying things out for you. And Tiff was like, well, there's always going to be tests, right? There's always going to be tests. And I think that's true. Yeah. I think, and I think that, it's kind of interesting in the concept of, in the context of, moving overseas, if that's a dream of yours, right? Like, or moving somewhere new. Because, I mean, this is different. Like, what we have here in this valley is different. It's not Seattle or New York or Montana even, or Idaho even, or, or Florida or it's not the States at all. It's not Europe. It's not Canada. It's a unique spot in the world. And, you kind of almost have to, like, it's almost good that there's some kind of test in there a little bit. Like, you almost have to be a certain kind of person to enjoy this place. Mm-hmm. So I think you kind of have to be called by it, and you kind of have to want to, like, be in what this place has and offers, right? So it's the nature, it's the streams, it's the culture, it's the history, it's the medicine, it's the... it's the lifestyle, it's the people, the it's like this hodgepodge of just sort of, different energy, different vibe, different way of life, different everything, that, if you're going back to what your point you made, like if your goals are the condo in Miami or whatever you said, like there's not anything here that's going to interest you, like at all. No. Like it's like, what is this? Like there's a river, like it's cold. like, what are you talking about? Like, right? And I mean, but it's like, well, I'll transition that. We're gonna go crystal hunting on Friday.
Right. I'm looking forward to it.
Right. So let me,
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's awesome for me too. But like, how many people want to go spend several hours digging in the dirt to try to find some crystals in the ground, right?
In the Andes Mountains.
In the Andes, right.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's what's so cool about it is like that stuff. But let's set it up. So we have, about half an hour south of here is a town called Yangana, and there's an old Incan foot trail that part of which is now a road and part of which is not. It goes through Podocarpus, but my understanding is it's maintained still to this day. That comes from Zamora over the Continental Divide probably into Yangana.
Mm-hmm.
And so Yangana is, I don't know the exact elevation of like in the town, but it's higher than here. It's probably at least 1,000 feet higher. It's probably 6,000 feet, 5,800, something like that in town. But then where this is, you go another 5 minutes past town, mostly up. So you got to be up over 7,000, I think, even by the start of that road, probably. Mm-hmm. Then you make a left, and then you go for a long distance up this road, basically to where it stops being a road and starts to turn into a footpath, up over the cloud line, so it's like a cloud forest there, way over the mosquito line, way over the sort of, I don't know, it's probably called something else, for like the growth line, where you're going to have like pine trees and shrubs and stuff like that grow up there, but you're not going to have, plants and billowing, trees that waving around and, having all their leaves and stuff. Cooler, like rains all the time, misty all the time. And then you've got this area where there's just, I don't know how many, like unlimited, like infinite number of crystals that a retreat participant who was moved down that we're friends with, probably, I don't think he'd mind at all saying his name, Joel, has been up there. Like I had sent him like more or less where it's at, but I had never been. Like it's something I had been wanting to do for a long time and just hadn't prioritized. He's been up there and he's sent, and we'll try to put some in the video, but he sent photos.
Oh, he's getting some awesome crystals.
Dude, I mean, he's got like huge, like you'd pay money, beautiful.
Yeah. He wanted to go today. He was planning on going today, and then when I messaged him about Friday, he's like, all right, let's do it.
He's super into it, which is awesome.
He's got all kinds of tips too, like tools and things and snacks, and we've got it all. Joel's awesome, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
So yeah, me, you, my wife, a couple of friends, Joe and Joel, and we're gonna head out on Friday. Is it
Friday?
Yeah,
Friday. This is the day, man.
So it's
Rain
like
or shine, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it's an example, right? But it's like you kind of have to appreciate stuff like that for this this to be like a really cool place for you to live. Another thing we're gonna do in the future, we're going to head down to Changaimina, which is probably an hour and a half, 2 hours from here.
Oh, this is going to be like investigative reporting style.
Yeah, and we're going to go like screw around it's a beautiful town, by the way. I've been there. It's gorgeous. Tiny little town. It has one of the coolest miradors I've ever seen in Ecuador. Sweet. It's like probably 2,000 feet down below it.
Wow.
It's amazing, yeah. And we're going to, see what we can find in terms of the history of the giant skeletons that were and this is all proven. Like none of this is, they're on display somewhere. I forget if it's Peru or somewhere in Europe, but Google it. The Changaimina, Changaimina, Changaimina.
Well done. We're gonna giant hunt.
I think they were saying like 3 or 4. I don't know. Was it 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters? I don't remember. But
they were massive. The photos were massive. Yeah. They were massive.
Yeah. So we're gonna go see what we can find.
Find Nephilim.
Right.
Yeah, baby. That'd be. I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just document it. Like
we'll see.
This is what's cool. Like, we're not gonna. I mean, just the only thing we might find are some people who can talk to us about.
Right.
But like, that's like a fun adventure that we'll go do, and it's like, it's the opposite of the condo in Miami.
Right. I mean, I just had one of those this weekend. So Quinn had a game in Zamora. They had a tournament in Zamora. It was the semifinals. So his IDV Loja team were playing in the semis. So we decided to go. He hasn't played in the tournament yet, and the coach has been trying to get him.
Just scheduling or.
it's in Zamora. It's 3 hours away.
Distance, right?
I didn't really want to go.
So Zamora, just for people, so Zamora is in the Amazonian region. You access it from Loja. It's only an hour from Loja, but then obviously where you were going was further in, not like right where in the city, but further in. So Loja is 45 minutes. That's an hour really once you get across to there. So it's about 2 hours from here to the city. Yeah. Obviously you were going somewhere further in the province.
We went yellow taxi from here and then the bus. So it took us probably 2 hours and 45 minutes to get there that way.
Yeah, if it's a bus, that's going to add some time for sure, yeah.
So it was Diego and his two boys, Iker and Jesus, and then Quinn and I went. And so we get to, we find the coach is sending voice notes like, it's the semifinals, you have to show, like, fine, okay, let's do it.
And Quinn is probably by far their best player. Like, he's really good.
He's really good. Yeah, he's good. I mean, I'm biased, but I think he's good.
From what I've seen, kid can play.
So we go, and it was cool. Like, the town was cool. It's beautiful. It almost was like the clouds were really... Is it higher?
Zamora
as well? I don't know.
I'll look up the elevation. My guess is it's probably like 4,000 or 5,000 feet, maybe 3,500 to 5,000 feet. It should be this or slightly lower, but let me look it up.
Because we got to the Concha, and it was awesome. They had this big, huge stadium.
That's field for those that don't know.
Yeah, field. They had a track around it. They had bleachers, and there was multiple soccer fields. They were immaculate. Mm-hmm. And but the clouds were really low. Everything was really low. Like it felt like we were in a cloud forest. In a way.
It can be like that in that region.
So the adventure. So that was an adventure, just taking the bus and doing that anyway. Yeah. But then we get into town, and we're on the way to Zamora. There's all these waterfalls, not huge ones, but all these waterfalls on the main road. Yeah. And Diego's like, hey, the kids won. The kids, they won 4-1. That was awesome. So they're going to the finals next weekend. So they're all excited. And Diego's like, hey, do you want to just go back to Loja, or do you want to go stop and check out some waterfalls on the way back? I'm like, let's go check out the waterfalls.
Yep.
He's like, cool, let's do it. So we take the boys, and they're stripped down into their underwear. They're jumping in the waterfalls. We're climbing. They're having a blast. There's these little like pools that kind of pooled where, there was some water that was, I don't know, maybe 2.5 feet that they're diving into and having a blast. And it was just awesome. And if you've never been into a waterfall, guys, like it physically feels different. I think the scientific explanation is the negative ions from the moving water is what I've heard. But you go there and you feel rejuvenated. You feel it feels differently, and it was awesome to see the kids just in nature having a blast. We stayed there for we probably spent an hour plus just jacking around in the waterfalls, taking pictures and having kids swimming and jumping around, and then we had a couple snacks at the end of down the road and came back. But it was an awesome, it was an awesome day.
No, and I mean, we'll throw some of those pictures in too. In fact, let me just take this note so we can remember. We need pictures of, what was the other thing we need pictures? Oh, the crystals.
Joel's crystals.
And Zamora soccer trip. But, I mean, I used to go to Zamora all the time. I probably haven't been now in 3-4 years maybe. And it was freaking beautiful. Like, to be playing soccer in a very nice stadium as well, like a very nice field, but surrounded by what looks like at that time of day or whatever the weather was that day, like a cloud forest with the just lush, beautiful, awesome. Amazonian mountains all around you. Yeah. Awesome people, awesome town. Like, Zamora is considered a city, here, but it's like a tiny town for back home.
Right.
And great people. Like the whole Amazonian region, I really like the people. I mean, the people in Ecuador in general are freaking awesome, like everywhere. But for me, like that's I can't even say that either. But it's sort of the same difference, I guess, you'd get back home between like folks from the country versus folks from the city. Yeah. You have that a little bit here, but in general, but the Amazonian region is kind of like really just salt of the earth people.
They were really cool. Like, both sides. The Zamora. I think we played the Zamora team.
Okay. By the way, sorry. Let me interrupt really quick. So there's conflicting information here. So Wikipedia says 3,200 feet approximately. This other website says 4,055
So
feet.
definitely lower,
So
though.
definitely lower, yeah.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, the clouds just hung low. So,
Yeah,
it must have been
that happens here occasionally too, but like that, that's different. The Amazonian region, especially Zamora, like it can be hot and humid, and you get that sort of low pressure.
Yeah, maybe
like
it wasn't hot. I was wearing a sweater. It was kind of cool, most of it.
Anyway, so yeah.
But yeah. So, I don't even know what I was saying actually.
You were playing the Zamora team, you thought?
Oh yeah. We were playing the Zamora team. So there was a bunch of the IDV Loja families. They were sitting in one section, and the Zamora team was sitting next to us. And, the parents were into it. They were chanting, and everybody was chanting. But I still remember when I was walking up with Diego, and I got the IDV hat on, and we were passing the Zamora group first, and they were all like, buenos dias, welcome, bienvenidos. They were all, like, welcome. So it was just like, yeah, it was cool. And then the kids after the game, sometimes in Loja even, because in the Loja tournaments, there's because Loja is 250,000 people, so there's multiple different teams in Loja. So a lot of the Loja tournaments are just different teams from Loja. Occasionally they get teams from surrounding areas, but a lot of times it's just Loja. So the kids know each other, and sometimes the sportsmanship isn't quite where I'd like it to be, and sometimes the team will lose and they won't even go to shake hands, and they'll just walk away, and they won't want to do it, and it was nothing like this. Zamora came out and scored the first goal. There was a little controversy, but they scored the first goal, and then we came back and just squashed them. But all the kids came and shook hands. Nobody ran off the field. Quinn did all right. Yeah, yeah.
How many goals did the team score?
They scored 4.
How many did Quinn score?
Quinn scored 3.
And after the third, what was he doing then later?
He played goalie. He assisted the 4th goal.
Then played goalie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, but that's a fun thing. Like I sent a couple of videos to my buddies back home about the soccer, just to, dad brag a little, to show. And then I
have to put those in too.
Showed them the waterfall stuff, and it's like, that's just part of life here. It can be if you want it to be, and that for me that's one of the reasons why my family's here is for those.
Yeah, me too. And it's like it's become for me a very important part of my life.
Yeah.
It's like I've gotten to the point spiritually, physically, energetically, like whatever, emotionally, like whatever you want to call it, where I need the nature. Like I need it. Like I have to go to nature and be in it frequently, which I do. And my kids also like it resets everything, and it's grounding, like it's grounding. Like it's just a reset, and it's to be able to do that constantly with the kids for me is just it's so rewarding. Like my kids go to this eco club thing that's amazing. We did a video on that.
No, that's awesome.
More things we need to link to.
Right.
And they do this awesome, very like heart-based, awesome activities, music and growing stuff, and there's all kinds of cool stuff. And they do that from 9 to 1, Monday through Thursday. And at least 2 of those days, I'm able to pick them up and then just spend the rest of the afternoon with them, which generally speaking is like at the river. Walking the beautiful walking trails, climbing trees, going fishing sometimes, or we'll go out where have some property out, and we'll hang out there with no one around. A lot of times when I go out to Guatuchi, which is like it's a paved road that then turns to a dirt road, which is gonna be fully paved all the way to Quinara, but you spend a few minutes on dirt road and then you take a right. Bless you. You take a right down a pretty steep, access road that's concrete, so it's it works fine. Then you cross a bridge that used to be very sketchy but is now not, and you take a right on this this little dirt road that's generously we're calling it a road,
right?
That we actually put in probably like 5 or 6 years ago,
no kidding.
Or probably more than that, probably 6-7 years ago, for a client who wanted to purchase a property next to actually where mine is now. I purchased later this little property down there just for fun, but and we needed permission from 7 neighbors to move their fences back and allow us to put this road in. So that was a multi-month process, and that was really interesting too, to go through that 6, 7, 8, whatever years ago was, and just sort of understand how that stuff works here.
Sure.
To see the way the communities get together and make group decisions, basically,
Right.
like make decisions at a group as a group, and sort of the dynamics and the way they kind of put pressure on each other to go along with the consensus a bit.
Right.
And they hold each other accountable too. It was really interesting. And just sort of, we had probably 7 or 8 in-person meetings over many months. And I just had to totally surrender to the process, like full on just, it'll get worked out or it won't, but I'm good, And so finally when we got that permission, then, we put in the road and she purchased the property. But because of that, so anyways, that little road is like along the river there. It's just a little 3-meter, whatever road. Very often there'll be a horse that's tied to a tree in the road that eating like the grass, right? And so the first time I tried to get past it and it kicked the truck and put a dent in the door. It's not like a huge dent, but like the truck took a little shot. So I learned my lesson there, leave the horse alone. So now what I do is I park and I get out and I go and untie the horse and I walk it until the nearest opening, the gate in one of the neighbors' fences, put it in, tie it, move the car past it, put it back out, tie it back to where it was.
Oh, that's funny.
And because I'm the only one that drives a vehicle on the road, and I don't live there, so it's not like
No,
I don't even know whose horse it is. But
that's good though. That's
yeah.
When you're talking about you need nature now. It's like you're like Joe Pesci now from the Snickers, the Snickers commercials.
Yeah, I mean I've accused you of being Joe Pesci many times.
Nope. That's you.
Oh,
that is you without nature.
Yeah, you're right. Totally.
Like way worse than me. Way worse.
I mean, yeah, you're right, actually.
Yeah. Speaking of like the grounding aspects and all that, and just doing that, we started a routine in my family, like where the kids get up, we all get up, we go down to the trampoline, jump like 2-3 minutes each on the trampoline, get the lymph flowing, get all that clearing up and moving, and then while somebody's on the trampoline, everyone else is barefoot.
Oh, awesome.
Grounding, yeah.
Look at you, you little hippie, man. I didn't see. I'm rubbing off on you.
That's right, baby. Yeah.
It's all, anyways, yeah. Oh, that's great. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah. Every day. It's on their list. Even if I'm not there, they have a little checklist before they start school that they have to do all these things. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things.
Yep.
Feeding the grass, lymph clearing.
That's great.
Yeah, but that can be part of lifestyle here, man.
Right.
If that stuff is important to you, if you want to live a healthy life, if you want to take an active role in doing some of these things, and teaching your kids some of this stuff, or even modeling it for them, I mean, this is a great vessel to be able to do that in a successful way. Like in a way that's right. It's everywhere. Like it's if you want to be in nature, it's not hard to find it here.
Yeah.
Like anywhere you are.
Like, and any kind.
Right.
Like if you want Amazonian nature versus like Southwest, like Arizona nature,
right,
versus what's here versus there's Loja is totally different.
Right. Yeah. Where is the Capamaco farm? That's higher? Capamaco, Finca Capamaco?
Yeah. It should be a bit higher.
Yeah, because that was really lush. The first time I went there was a couple of weeks ago, and that was really, really different type of vegetation, really lush.
Yeah, well, that's east, right?
I'm asking you, bro.
Yeah,
My compass is off.
Can't find that true north, huh?
Not on the equator, homie.
So does the South Pole exist though?
Perhaps.
It may. Yeah, so I mean, where we are, right, like anything that's east towards Podocarpus, you get the different weather patterns where you get much more lush, sort of tropical-ish growth.
That was nice.
Yeah. Was there something related to, what was it right before Vilcabamba, Marco? I don't recall.
Grounding, nature.
Yeah.
No. Hippie branding.
Well, yes. No, I don't know.
All right.
I don't have it. But oh right, I do have it. So yeah, so that's part of it, right? Of what this place offers and like what it is, right? So it's the cultural history as well. All the indigenous history.
Yeah.
And sort of the medicine that offers.
Right.
It's a bit interwoven through the culture, but it's also directly available from the source as well. Right? So it's like, and Vilcabamba is unique in the country that way too, right? So you have, like, Vilcabamba is kind of on the spiritual map, so to speak. And so you have an enormous amount of connection to lineage, but really like activities and events and just stuff available here that, wouldn't normally be the case in a town this size or, or anything even remotely close, not even, like, it's silly the difference between how much availability of sort of healing or spiritual related stuff you have here versus the size of the place.
Right.
So you have a lot of that, which is really cool. And, indigenous stuff, indigenous history, like all of that cultural stuff. And then you have, you have sort of the nature that we covered and just sort of the magic of that with Mondongo and the rivers and all the different stuff. But then you have the community, right? You have like the people that have made their home here, either who live here locals who are from here, or the international folks, from around the world who have made their home here. And, those wow, like what a trifecta of those three things that you have that just make this place special. There's just a lot of really beautiful people living here that, are really on their life mission, are on their path. They're living, the walk and the talk or something. And they're just beautiful people who are all like very unique and different from one another. There's some common threads, but it wouldn't be in terms of like belief systems or style or any of those kinds of things.
There are deeper threads than that.
Yeah,
the connecting threads are much deeper than that on that level for sure. Like it's not. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, but
it's just such a solid community.
Yeah, the values, the community solid. Something cool about the local community. It's not, not indigenous, but just the understanding of just natural medicine and plants and herbs and things that are just growing. We've got year-round growing seasons here, so there's stuff growing. Obviously, there's still seasons and cycles of plants and bloom, etc. But most things grow all the time, and you can just have hey, I got a stomach ache or I got a little something, and the taxi driver is telling me stopping and grabbing get these couple herbs, make a tea, or and we're stopping and going, and they're like going and pointing out which ones, and this is the ones my family's used for generations, and this is blah blah blah. So just that stuff is just there for all these ancestral methods or understanding, and maybe it's in books somewhere, I don't know, but most people here know that, and they don't go to the store and they don't go, I got a stomach, take some Tylenol or take some Pepto-Bismol or take stuff that kind of we grew up on. That's what you do for that kind of stuff in some cases. Here it's not that. It's here, make this tincture and drip it in your mouth, drip it under your tongue, or make this tea, or so that's really cool. And then the international community side of things, man, those folks, there's a deeper connection on that, man. There's a deeper calling for many of those people, especially the healers in the community and the health practitioners and the folks that are here, with a purpose, on a mission, whatever they're doing here like that. There's there's something else that's calling those people here, that's connected folks, and that's one of my favorite things about this community is that exists. All the stuff that's inherently here, with the nature, with the local community and culture, that's beautiful. But then you have this beautiful international community that's so diverse, and it's not your diverse matrix.
No.
International community.
No.
You know, it's like
people's talents and skills and what they offer.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
sort of in that way. Almost.
Right. And they're here doing it because they can live their lifestyle around that, you know, living that dream or living that passion and doing it every day. And you can see it. You can see it in people that are just happy. And some people, you know, will get comments sometimes, you know, oh, simple pleasures for simple minds. And it's like, well, you know, maybe
stay where you're at.
Yeah, maybe you're overcomplicating happiness,
right.
my friend. You know, right. Perhaps you are.
Only I could get to the train on time to get to work on time.
Right.
I'm going to be really happy.
Right.
In my life.
Yeah. That's something. That's something.
Yeah, I mean, something else I wanted to get to, but there's something I wanted to say about that too. So, yeah, right. So just like the light in people's eyes,
yeah,
you know, who both live here or are discovering this place. Mm-hmm. It's so freaking cool to watch. Like, I love watching people come. And then look, again, does it speak to everybody? Hell no.
No.
Like,
probably not most people, man.
No, but even most people that come and check it out.
Right.
Like, it's not all them either. Like, right? Like, does it speak to everybody? No, not at all. Is it for everybody? No way. Like, it's kind of a unique individual that's going to love it here. But watching people who are meant for this place, which tends to be, anyways, you know, just sort of, a lot of them follow our YouTube channel or find out about it through our YouTube channel or other stuff we're doing. And a lot of them are skeptical.
Yeah.
And a lot of them come down just to see, like, is it real? Like, is what these guys are talking about real? And it's not always us. Maybe they have friends here. They have some other connection. But, you know, is it real? And to watch them, like, discover not only is it real, it's way better than we could ever describe on a stupid podcast, right? And to just sort of see the way they light up. And,
especially when they realize that we're doing a stupid podcast in front of a green screen. And it's like, oh, my God, why don't you guys show the real background, real landscapes?
Well, we turned the green screen sprinkler on again today.
Yeah, it is sprinkling. And your laptop's out.
I know.
Bro.
It's a green screen.
Man, oh, okay. I mean, we did a good job with the green screen last week. I mean, we screwed up the audio a little bit on last pod, but the green screen with the sunset, I mean, try and do that, AI guy. The shadows and everything, man. Boom.
So, I used to go to Malacatos for my steam room needs. Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch of steam rooms in Vilcabamba, but I like the one in Malacatos. Especially during the week, there's no one there. You know, I message ahead. He turns it on. I think it's $2 to enter. I think he might have. Hopefully, he raised it to $3. I think he might have. I was telling him to because all his competitors are like 4 or 5 or more. Some of them are 6, 8, 10, 15 even. At a couple of
you're gonna get it from any of the locals Facebook folks from Vilcabamba.
The angry gringos have at it.
They're going to get you.
Good.
They're intentionally raising prices on us.
Yeah, well, this guy's cool. He's that guy that took it over. So I knew the family well that owns it, and they ran it for many years. We're friendly with them, and they were dealing with some stuff, and they needed to take a break, basically, and so they were looking to rent it out. And then this Peruvian guy and his family, his wife's Ecuadorian, he's Peruvian, took it over, but they're renting it. So they took over the business, and they introduced this whole Peruvian menu and Peruvian seafood, which is actually really good.
Cool.
And they're open during the week, which they used to only be open on the weekends. I think they're living there probably, the family. So anyways, I've kind of become friendly with him. Just shooting the breeze and talking, and I was trying to help him, like, hey, man, like, no one knows about this place in Vilcabamba. Like, you gotta get into these Facebook groups and da da da. And yeah, like, so, you know, his competitors in Malacatos, and where it's all locals, obviously, yeah, they're like $4, $5, $6 entry, and he's at 2 and 1 for kids. So you go to 3 and, you know, keep the kids at 1 or whatever, and still be way cheaper than everybody else. But anyways, I used to go there, but then a friend of mine told me that they have a steam room, which I never knew about. As it turned out, it was only a few weeks old, which is why I never knew about it. At Jardín Escondido, which is right in town. So I've been going there a lot. There's a little pool. Kids can kind of screw around the pool, and I can steam. It's actually really cool. They built the steam room, like, it's concrete, but they built it like a cave.
Yeah. And
they sort of put some, like, Incan stuff into the design. Cool. It's kind of cool. And so I've been going there. It's $3 to get in. It's 1 for kids.
For the day.
For as long as you want it, yeah. And I've been going there, and you know, the word's getting out, so I'm starting to, like, run into people. But anyways, I'm there the other day. I think it was probably Sunday, and Jared walks out. He's like, Jesse, he's back. So Jared comes out of of his room where he's staying temporarily while he looks for a rental. And I got to hang out with him for a couple hours, see his dogs, and the guy's just so cool. And he's like, he's one of these examples, right? So this is a guy from West Virginia. He's ex-military. He was like combat, the whole nine. You know, has dealt with the aftermath of that in his life as well. And you know, he's kind of like, you know, I don't think he'd mind me saying any of this at all. Like, you know, he kind of like isn't loving his life where he was at, right? Like, he was like difficult, right? And so, I don't know how he discovered our channel or discovered us or whatever, but somehow he gets it in his head he's going to come down for this retreat. Comes down for the retreat. It changes his life. Like, we had Dr. Teshna fixed some stuff on him physically while he was down here. I was actually asking him, hey, did that last? When I saw him, he said, yeah. He said, like, he's still a lot better.
Well, dude, do you remember Jared physically changed?
Yeah.
Like, the whole complexion, the facial structure, I don't know if it's structure change, but, like, something changed from the beginning. We have a photo of him in the beginning in the airport, and then on the last day, and it's like he's like a different guy. He looks lighter. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just...
Yeah, it's like light came into his eyes and his face in like a totally different way.
Yeah, in 9 days.
It was a transformation. I mean, I would argue it was like 3-4 days in. He was
you started seeing...
He was like already lit up in a totally different way.
Totally. Yeah.
I'd say that happened to a bunch of the participants from that, but he was the most dramatic.
Right.
So he's got these 2 beautiful dogs, and he's staying at, you know, they got the dogs in the hotel room. The hotel room's $20 a night.
Awesome.
They have a steam room and a pool.
Right, perfect.
I'm pretty sure it includes breakfast probably.
Life is good.
It's a block from the park. Half a block from the park. It's just
Life is good.
It's fun watching people like realize, you know, there's other options. Mm-hmm. There's options that maybe speak to my soul, my spirit, my health, my mental state, whatever.
Yeah.
Better. And watching like what it does for them in their lives. Like, it's so cool. Like,
getting over the fear, overcoming, facing everything and rise above it, man. Face everything and rise. That's part of the thing. I don't really want to go here. I'm going to go here just a little bit just because I want to kind of get this off my chest a little, because we hear there's other YouTube channels that do Ecuador stuff, and it kind of goes into what you were talking about with, you know, your friends and family, like they mean well, you know, they're they're providing advice, they're meaning well, they care. And there's a channel I used to watch for years before I got here, and since being here, now that I'm here, I don't watch other YouTube content on Ecuador. I barely watch ours, you know, so I don't spend my time doing that. But I watched this channel, and I respected the guy on the channel coming here. You know, he helped influence my decision. And then recently somebody told me he did a video, and he talked specifically about our area. saying things, having an opinion. And again, from a place I believe that this guy's coming from his heart. He believes what he's saying. And he means well, and his intentions are well, and he's a smart guy. So there's all that, but he's never been here, right? He's never been in the province. He's never been to Vilcabamba. He's, and it felt a little disingenuous in the sense that he brought up the tragic murder of Francesca. Mm. And said that it happened in Vilcabamba, and it's, what is that, an hour plus out of Vilcabamba? So to drive a point home.
It's the only incident like that in the last, since I've been here.
Yeah. So I, it felt, I believe that he's coming from, a sincere place in saying like, hey, people shouldn't, if anybody's thinking about moving to Ecuador now, I wouldn't do it. But I'm not leaving. He lives in Quito, and I'm not moving my family out of here, though. Like, we're staying. So, I don't know. It felt a little dichotomous in that, do what I say, not as I do kind of thing. And then, saying that Vilcabamba is a bubble and it's dangerous and they've done all this stuff.
Bubble, like economic?
I don't know. I don't totally know because, again, he's never been here. So he's using secondhand information and, and again, I believe he means well, and he's coming from, a sincere place, but it just felt like a little it made me lose a little bit of respect because I wouldn't talk about Quito that way. I've been to Quito a few times. I wouldn't talk about Quito that way, even though I've been there a few times, to provide that as advice to people specifically. So I don't know. It felt like there was a little bit of fear, and maybe that's a function of being in a bigger city in Ecuador through some of this change that's happening throughout the country. Maybe it's a result of that. I'm not sure. I'm only speculating, but it just felt like there was a little bit of fear and also the well-meaning loved one kind of that we talked about earlier. That was like a good example of another YouTube channel that's doing that, that means well, but maybe has a little bit of fear. And I don't know.
People have to choose, right? People have to decide for themselves who they listen to, what they believe, what they're all about, what their values are, what aligns, what doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, all we can do is offer, who we are and what we understand to be and experience, and people rock with it or they don't.
Yeah, come check it out, and if you like it, stay. If you don't.
But yeah, it's very easy psychologically. It's almost like it's like the safety trap. First of all, right? Life's not safe. I hate this whole idea. This whole concept drives me nuts. Yeah. Like, as if safety should be a goal. Right. Like, a goal of what? To not enjoy anything in your life because you could get hurt? Right. Like this drives me crazy. Like, I don't. I got a great story.
Oh, dude. So that's a great example. So we were in Quinara last weekend. Belle was dancing on Sunday in Quinara. It ended up being in the town square. It was their novenas. It was a huge celebration. It was actually really awesome. Yeah. Tons of vendors and food and people.
Do you have footage of that?
I do. Yeah, right. I do.
I'll put that in.
And she danced with the Folklorico Nukanchi dance group at the Quinara Fest, and it's one of my favorite things still, the Vaca Loca,
I just remembered the story you're about to tell. Is great.
So he comes out, so the Vaca Loca guys it's the crazy cow.
Vaca Loca, see. Yeah, right, it's right, the crazy cow.
The crazy cow, but it's this metal cow costume kind of thing with handles that somebody puts on, and then they shoot fireworks and spinning fireworks off of it, and there's fireworks going everywhere. So it's awesome. It comes.
I gotta interrupt you for 1 second.
Yeah.
So the first time you see this as a foreigner, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So, because nobody, you've got pyrotechnics exploding everywhere, and there's a guy in there, and people are super close.
Yeah, well, not only super close, there's groups of kids running like they're trying to get in front of the bull, like it's a bullfight, and get out of the way as he's shooting fireworks through the whole thing.
The first time you see this, you're like, Oh, I'm not in the U.S.
Right? He's kind of dink-a-dink, and there's music playing, and then he gets close to the crowd, and he'll turn. So the fireworks shoot like right at him.
Yeah.
You want to talk about safety or lack thereof? Like, holy crap.
But like, I wonder if anything has ever happened. Like,
Well, something happened this time.
no one got hurt.
Nobody got hurt,
Yeah.
but it was entertaining. So he makes his first pass, and there's these giant palm trees in the square, or some kind of tree. I think it's a palm tree. And a spark lands, I don't know, 25 feet up into the bark of the palm tree, and it starts smoking. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I could see it, and nobody's paying attention. And people, you know, Lennon Cuenca was up talking at the time.
Yep.
And he's going on. All of a sudden, it catches a flame. Hey, guys, this rain, just really quick, you see that? Look at that. That's raindrops.
I'm even gonna put this rag.
Wow, you are covering your laptop.
Actually, you know what?
Man.
I'm just gonna go for it.
Hey, I just want to thank our AI technician for doing a great job. This looks really real.
How about this?
That looks really real. I mean, this looks like it's actually raining on
It
us.
really does.
I know.
It's weird.
It's wild. So, you know, we needed rain that night because the palm tree catches fire, and the show just keeps going on. And people, and I'm like, now I'm like pointing to the tree. I'm standing out and I'm pointing to the tree, and I'm like waving to Lennon on the stage, pointing. And finally,
Who's Lennon?
Lennon Cuenca. He's like some. He ran for president.
He's like the. ¿Quién es Lennon
He's a
Cuenca?
provincial politician.
Lenin Cuenca is a prefecto. No sabe? Okay.
He's
Yeah,
some
he's a
politician
yeah.
from the province, and finally he sees it, and he's like, oh, you know, and he's calling for water, and people are just kind of standing, and then there's like somebody that has like a cup, and they're throwing like a cup of water, and I'm like, Tiffany, like I can go get a bucket. I'm gonna go find a bucket. So I run. Go talk to one of the ladies that have, you know, cooking food, and I ask her for a bucket. She gives me a bucket. I'm like, okay, where's the water? She points to the water, so I go fill up a bucket. I run the bucket of water back. They're at this time they're like taking a small bucket and like throwing it onto the thing, and it's like they're getting it out, and then by the time they go refill the bucket, the small little bucket, it's catching flame because it's windy, you know, and it's catching flame again. I'm like, oh my God. So I bring them this big bucket, and now they at this time they got a ladder. They've got a guy up on the ladder up to the thing, and he's like dipping the small bucket into the big bucket I brought and pouring it on and dropping it down, and they finally get it out, and people clap, and it was done. But I'm just thinking, I'm like, there's 1,000 people here, and everybody's just staring, like looking at the tree catch on fire. I'm like, it's gonna tip over, and people are just gonna stand there. It was just a wild experience. We got the flame out. It was awesome. Bell's dance team came out, did an awesome performance. It was a great night, but it was just one of those kind of safety things that made me think,
Right.
you know, between the Vaca Loca and the you know, the fire and the reaction to it, I'm like, wow. You know, in the States, an event like this would have firefighters on duty.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure. There'd
They
be a
would be
fire
there.
truck, there'd be an ambulance, there'd be
Right.
police everywhere, there'd
Right.
be places roped off, there'd be
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. There's
safety distance.
Yeah,
like,
there's
whole
a
nine.
running joke that in my I got a text group with some of my boys from back home, and there was some bullfight in, I don't know, somewhere there was a bullfight or a bull, I don't know if it's a bullfight, a bull show, and it's an arena, and
Like
one
a
of
rodeo
the
or something.
rodeo. There you go, it's a rodeo.
I'm here for you.
Man, good job. And a bull
Thanks, Brandon.
jumped the fence, you know, and
Yeah,
got
yeah.
into the crowd
Yeah.
and like bulldozed a couple of, you know, got back into the concession area,
Mm-hmm.
and people not even seeing coming up behind it. Like I hope everybody lived. I know some people got hurt for sure, but they sent it and they, you know, said, you know, I bet you don't see this in Ecuador. And I said, you're right. In Ecuador, there's no fence to jump over.
Yeah, but like the bulls would be nice.
Right.
Like they'd be like, it's okay.
It'd be like Ferdinand. You remember that book?
Yeah,
Ferdinand?
yeah, of
It'd be
course,
like
yeah.
Ferdinand smelling the flowers.
You're bringing
love
back
that
childhood
book.
memories. That was great.
Dude,
Ferdinand
they did a
was great.
movie of it. Did you know that?
No,
They did a cartoon movie. There was always a cartoon,
think
and the
maybe
book
I
was
saw
great.
that, yeah.
I think John Cena, the wrestler, was the voice of
Who
Ferdinand.
went to my high school,
Did you? Did he?
but he was a couple years ahead of me. I didn't know him.
So you didn't see him, did you?
Okay.
You wanted
I'm glad
to see
I
him,
don't get the
but you
reference.
can't see him.
Very happy I don't get the
Oh
reference.
man, yeah. You know, speaking of wrestling, really quick, we were at, Quinn turned 8, a couple of days ago, and we went to El Mexicano
Thanks for the invite, bro.
and saw Raul. You were busy. You were at the steam room for the 17th time in the day. So we go the day before his birthday, and Raul was there with his wife, and they got us set up, and after they bring this huge, Raul's from Mexico, and he brings this cake out, and they sing happy birthday, but it's got all the luchadors, the famous on the corners of the ring. You see that? Yeah. And they do the thing, and then afterwards, they bring out a luchador mask, and they give it to Quinn, and it was a little big, and his wife's like, Raul, get him one that fits him. And so she runs in and gets all these different luchador masks, and they're all famous historical Mexican wrestlers, and they let Quinn pick which one he wanted. So he picked this black and gold luchador mask. The wrestler, he's retired now, but he's a famous, bad guy in Mexican wrestling. His name was Piarut. So Piarut. Thank you, Raul, if you're watching. Quinn loves it. He's wearing it to bed every night. Can I sleep in this, Dad?
I mean, what you should really tell is the sock story.
The sock story?
From Quinn.
Oh, boy. Maybe on another episode, perhaps.
Stay tuned next week. Because that's a good one.
Yeah, boy. I mean, we can tell you why. I mean, it's probably good for another episode.
Yeah, another episode's good. We got to wrap. But no, it's interesting, like that story you were telling in Quinara, because it definitely lends itself to a lot of the cultural stuff here, right? It's one of the most like relaxed, laid-back group of people you will ever find in your life. We're truly getting rained on at this point.
It's coming.
Yeah, I mean, people here just, but that's the thing, right? So we're both sitting here in shorts and sandals, getting rained on, and completely comfortable.
And it feels good.
It feels good, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is a culture that's kind of like, for most stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, people don't get up in arms about anything.
Right.
Like, if the tree had burned down, like, the tree would have burned down. Yeah. Like, it would have been okay. No one would have, like, panicked or a major event, Right. And that's just kind of how life is here. And yeah, I mean,
yeah, and that's awesome.
It's awesome. It's freaking awesome.
It's awesome.
So, all right, guys, you made it this far. We appreciate it. Share this far and wide. That's the more important thing. Like, give us the like, subscribe to the channel, because you want to see us again.
I'm sorry if you think that.
But really, share this with someone that actually, might be interested in this place and check it out. Share the channel with folks if anyone's into it. So, anyways, we appreciate your viewership.
We hope to see you down here one day, guys.
So until then,
we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.
Ciao, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel right here. Check out our real estate channel right here for content that you will absolutely love. Click right here. And if you want to know how we got here, click here.